Well, that's people doing stuff around comedians always makes me wonder if they know they're going to be talked about. Like, for instance, when we were in Colorado and that lady rolled the side by side.
I mean, is that what it's called?
It's called.
You calling it a dune buggy?
It is a dune buggy. That's what I've been calling. I've been calling it both.
But I've had so much. We should tell that here.
Well,
right now, unless you don't want to.
Oh, I'm fine telling it. What it did is Jay and I have like cornerstone moments of laughing at things where I would say like Nick Cannon, how much he paid Pete Davidson to open for him.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
That's a biggie for sure.
Pete told us, this is years ago. This is like before Pete was on SNL. He was opening for Nick Cannon.
SNL, yeah.
And he
had maybe done an episode of Wild and Out or something.
Couple. And he came to the cellar, and Jay, I was still smoking cigarettes, so it was over 10 years ago. And Jay and I were smoking out front, and Pete started telling us about
how... You just got back from a weekend with
Nick Cannon, who's doing... I mean, Nick Cannon's been famous since I've been a child.
Sure.
But he was on all of that since I was a child. But we asked Pete, we're like, how much did he pay you? What did he say, $50 a show?
It's $200 for the weekend. He said $200, and we were like...
Oh.
Per show? I go, 5 shows.
Theater, I don't know.
He's a young kid, you know what I mean? I'm like, all right, you know? And then he was like, no, it was like $200 for the whole weekend. He's like,
no, that was the full run, $200.
And we were like, yo.
He has a candy store in his house.
And then he told us that. That's what he told us that night. He goes, yeah, it is weird.
This is when he was married to Mariah Carey.
He goes, he has a fuck.
Nick Cannon was married to Mariah Carey.
It's been on TV since. Do you know that?
The candy store?
Yeah. You can find video of him walking around his candy store. It's stark white.
Well, Jay and I spent about 30 minutes talking about being an employee at that candy store.
Because it's a functioning candy store.
Yeah, where he comes in, he's like, but Nick Cannon's also the manager. So he's like, hey, Mark, we're a little high on peanut M&Ms. And he's like, yeah, you have a peanut allergy.
Yeah.
You're the only one that chops it.
Right. He goes, guys, we have like heavy inventory here on Red Hots. He goes, you don't like them.
You said out loud,
you're the only
who
customer.
eats those? You're the reason we have them, but you don't eat them. You're tormenting me. It would be crazy to get hired.
Anyway, Mr. Cannon, can I have a smoke break? He goes, unfortunately, you're the only employee here.
Yeah.
So
do you have someone to watch your register? He goes, no, I'm the only person here. Well, then you can't.
Nick Cannon coming down in his own house and seeing we'll be back in 15 minutes. And he has to do that. He goes, they're taking a dump, right? They're definitely taking a dump.
Better not be taking a dump in the downstairs bathroom.
That is only because I know because I worked at a 7-Eleven very, very briefly.
Yeah.
It's dump a clock sign on the door is and waiting for it is even the worst because you're putting a real clock on them.
It would also make
you get angrier the longer they take. Dude, just close 7-Eleven, you're like,
I don't think that's an enjoyable dump as an employee because you're on the clock.
First of all, you're shitting at a 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
There's no way at its best it's great.
Someone's bathed in there.
Without a doubt.
Like full bath.
I've never once gone into it. They go, well, it's for employees only, but go ahead. And I've gone back and been like, whoa. They used to have H&H Bagels up on...
Upper East Side?
Upper East Side, yeah. I agree, smoked tuna. We went there so much every weekend. If I had to be like, hey, can I like pee? Or like, you know, Carl or my ex-wife or something had to pee. They knew us well enough to be like, yeah, go ahead. It was downstairs in the bagel factory, by the way.
Really?
But you walk through these, dude, it is a stone 4x4, just little square. And I mean, the toilet was like, it was like
what they let, like, when terrorists kidnap someone?
Yeah.
That's the bathroom?
Yes. It was really, and you're like, this is for the employees. Like, these guys do have to shit here.
Yeah, treat them better. So, like, you can go in the stone hut if you need to shit.
Do you remember they said that Wawas were doing blue lights in the bathroom so you couldn't find veins to push off? But
brilliant.
I've never seen that. I've never seen that one time. I've
gone out of all the Wawas you've been to, you've never seen. It was supposed to. Now, is the blue noticeable? Like you would walk in and know, or
maybe it's like the hue of the light.
Yeah, because it might be a subtle thing that you don't even understand. Like, no, it's happening.
Dan, maybe we have to go into a Wawa bathroom together with you because you're very vascular.
Dude,
I myself, I mean, I could boot you off easy.
Look at me, you light me up.
Yo, I'd light you right up. Me, on the other hand,
I couldn't.
Not only do I have tattoos, but I'm telling you, like, if I didn't have tattoos. I don't know what kind of burlap skin I have over these veins, but a nurse or somebody, if they get it on the first shot, it's a miracle. They usually have to like fuck my
would
arm
be
with
me.
like a needle, but I have to look away.
If I was injured and you needed to administer a shot through my veins, you would be able to do it. I would be that nurse where I'd be like, "Ooh, sorry."
Oh yeah.
You would wake up just Swiss cheesed up.
Oh yeah.
Just your whole arm. You'd be like, "What did you do?" And I was like, I don't know, allergy test. Well, we lost track of telling the story about when we were in Colorado because we can absolutely tell this.
Oh.
We said cornerstone moments, and then we started talking about Pete's underpayment from
That's a cornerstone laugh.
That was a cornerstone laugh. There's been a couple.
Corey Feldman's given us several.
Corey Feldman's been that. So we were opening for Bert Red Rocks.
Denver,
in Colorado. Jay had gotten there the show was on Wednesday. Jay got there Tuesday.
What brand is this?
I can't tell you that. We're working out sponsorships, Jay.
What brand is this?
Hey, Jay, you're about to fuck my money before we take off. Because I'm trying to launch my own water brand.
Those things are blurred out. He goes, there's too much tape on your shirt. What brand is that?
Yeah, I go, hey, Jay, not right now. Not in the process of building our capital. We're trying to build.
You never know who's coming on board.
We have no idea what next week could hold. So we go to Colorado. Katie and I fly out. Jay and Christine are already. Bert rented this like whole place that he normally rents when he does Red Rocks every year.
Yeah, it's like a little resort.
Yeah, it's
small cabin place.
Yeah, in Evergreen, Colorado. And Jay and Christine are up there. Kath and I get in late afternoon, and we're like, oh, we'll just go stay at Trish's, drive up the next morning. We go to Trish's. We have dinner. I mean, dude, the funniest. My mom gives us her body count at dinner, just randomly. We're talking to Katie and I. Maybe we'll tell the full story on...
There's no point I haven't seen yet where I haven't done...
Well, I think...
You might have to do that with Kath.
She's the next episode.
Yeah. Then don't even waste it on me.
Because I want to get to the Red Rock
But when you
story.
go back on this...
Dude, can I tell you right now, one of my favorite hangs was me, you, Katie, and Christine just up at that place. Like, it was one of the best decisions. So we had dinner with my mom, and then Bert's people texted like, hey, we're going to go shoot guns tomorrow. And I was like, yeah, I'd love to do that up in the mountains with Jay and Bert. And Katie was like, well, why don't we just drive up there? It's not that far, and they have a room for us. Let's drive up there. And thank God we did. We drove up there and stayed. The place was amazing. But the next morning we woke up pretty early, so we eat breakfast, and then we load up in the SUV to go shoot guns. We'll leave names. You know, we're redacting names from this.
Names are out.
But this guy, current NFL player, has an injury that might...
He ain't coming back.
I believe in him. I believe he's
You know what? I
back.
believe in him too.
I believe him.
You know what? Hard edit. I believe in him.
I mean, slam on that edit.
You
I want you to say lay on that edit.
He goes, the guys that clip, he's really good, and I'm hoping he does come back.
But
very great dude. Very.
I mean,
nice
unbelievable. The like how nice they were.
The family was very welcoming.
The whole family, they were unbelievable. We went to so Bert, he's a fan of Bert's. Invited us to his land. He owned I think 200 acres near Evergreen.
100 and some acres, yeah.
It was unbelievable.
Almost 200, yeah.
Beautiful drive. He meets us badass on laying down looking at the sky on an ATV.
With a sidearm on.
Sidearm, just a hand cannon on his hip.
And he's gigantic,
He looks like a guy where he would be the scariest guy to catch with his wife.
He's one of those guys
where if you walked in, you go it'd be like a bear with a gun on him.
I'll tell you this too.
He'd be like, no.
He's a ginger too, and I will say more times than I would like, since even when I'm saying the story, Christine a few times have interjected with just like a big burly
real
toss
around.
Yeah, and I'm like, all right,
he tosses men around. So ladies that's light work. So we go and hang out, and they give a tour of their house, which, again, Jay and I's relationship, we're not
broke
good
kids
at
from single mom times for a long time.
We have boy brain. We don't want to go do adult stuff, and adult stuff is going through an unbuilt house, acting like you know what's going to be made, being like, oh, okay, and this is going to be the sauna. Okay.
I think this was both of us. I don't want to speak for. I don't know if we even talked about this because this gets so much wackier. But I don't know if we even talked about this. One of the construction guys was outside.
Oh yeah.
And he goes, what do you think that truss up there weighs? And me and Dan just open mouth looked at where he was pointing. I don't know what he meant. I still don't know what that truss. He goes, what do you think that truss weighs? And we just start looking in the area that he's pointing. We're like, and he goes, 3,000 something pounds. And we're like,
sounds about right.
And then he goes, and we didn't. He's like, he sees that we're not getting like hyped. And then he goes, just that one metal bar right there. I was like, oh, that is crazy. Okay,
the roof.
Yeah, I'm like, you're like, this part of the house is 3,000 pounds. I go, is that it?
You go, buddy, buddy, you're lucky I know how to change a light bulb. And on a refrigerator, it's a real down to the wire moment.
I don't know. We were walking on wood floors, and I'm like, are we going to get electrocuted? Like, for what? I don't know. And like, is this done?
Bert's recently built a house, and so he was like, he's fresh with that lingo. So they were like going through and talking about trusses or load-bearing. There's a lot of load-bearing talk, and Jay and I are.
Then he also showed us, though, the only thing that was done in this house, one thing was finished as far as like structurally.
Yeah,
one thing, and it was his John Wick room that is going to be of lit up guns.
It's gonna be badass though.
It was a vault door like you've never seen. It was like a bank from the 20s.
It was badass. It was badass. It was like if every 9-year-old boy would see that and go like, cool.
Panic room for sure.
Also, like, that's one of those things where you see the bad guys coming out of the woods, like fluttering over the fence, and then you go and you turn that open and you're like, wrong house.
I'll tell you this too, the guy's wife, who was awesome, she, I did this a lot. There's been a lot of times in my life that I have been interested in the wrong. I've gone into boot stores many times, or like a Journeys or something like that.
Yeah.
Like looking for like boots, like or just like even like
boot hunting.
But even boots like just the Timberlands, like basic boots.
Yeah.
And even at a Timberland store, I go, okay, these I like, and they're like, those are women's. Like, all right. That happens a lot, and I'll tell you what.
Sir, those are stiletto Timberlands, and you're like, oh, son of a bitch! I love I love feeling sexy.
The guy, the
guilty,
the husband guy had that sidearm on. Was sitting there, but I was for some reason it always looked scary to me and awkward.
Yeah,
and I will say that is coming from a career fat guy. Who all I think about right there, I go, what if I'm wearing that gun and I try to sit down in a movie theater or a stadium? That gun's gonna get ripped right off my thing. My ass size touch the side.
You go, that belly's gonna push that gun right out.
Yeah, I'm like, this is not gonna look cool. I'm gonna look like the fat sheriff who drinks too much. Well,
I'm the sheriff of Candy Town.
Yeah.
Everyone eats delicious food here.
This gun, it's just for fun.
Oh, this shoots syrup for your ice cream sundaes.
Whipped cream gun.
Whipped cream gun.
So, but dude, when I saw the one thing the wife put on her, she goes, yeah, we have to always carry our bear guns.
Dude, first off, just the name.
Yeah, awesome.
Bear gun.
But it's just like a heavy caliber a pistol.
Yeah.
And she had, it was like 4 straps, and it goes right in front of her chest. And I was like, yo, that is the holster right there. And the guy was like, that's like a woman's holster. Yeah. I was like, oh.
Specifically pregnant women. That's for pregnant women.
I was like, that is the coolest holster. That's how chicks hold guns. I'm like, right.
Yeah.
I'm saying it's cool for chicks.
That was me picking up the pink AR-15 where I go, this is kind of my
I would have shot that the whole time. The pink camo, that's the one I'd buy. If I was at a gun store, I go, oh, give me that pink camo. That's awesome, dude.
I go, look at the drip on this.
Yeah, what do I want, just like a black gun?
Yeah. Well, okay, cool.
Okay, yeah, it's any gun in the world.
No one's going to see me popping shots unless I got my pink camo.
He goes, I got an Uzi. Does it say Supreme on the side? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Does it say nasty bitch? They give me that one.
This is with name brands.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. Hope you're enjoying the first episode of the podcast. This is where we're going to break down and do reads. We might change it as it goes. We have no idea what the fuck we're doing here at this podcast, so we're going to learn. But if you're in San Francisco, I'm going to be at Cobb's the 17th and 18th of November, and then Albany, New York. I'll be coming to the Funny Bone. I haven't been there in a while. I'll be there November 29th for one night, Albany Funny Bone, and then Vermont. I'll be at the Vermont Comedy Club. I don't know why I said it that way. That sounded weird. Like I've never said the word Vermont before, but I have. Vermont Comedy Club. I will be there the 30th of November through December 2nd. And then, of course, December 8th, Royal Oak Theater in Royal Oak, Michigan. Buckhead Theater in Atlanta, December 9th. And then the following week, I will be at the Vogel Red Bank. Early show sold out. We added a late show. You can get tickets to that. And then December 16th, the Fillmore in Philadelphia. And then that's it for 2023. So go to dansoder.com for those live dates. And again, we hope we're enjoying the podcast. Myrtle's at the door. She thinks Jay's still in here because she's obsessed with him. So they like show us the house, but Jay and I, as boy men,
we're literally outside kicking rocks.
We really are legitimately. Jay smoking cigarettes. I'm kicking rocks. Just being little train track children.
And we're not even sure if they're like cool with that.
They might not be cool with that. It was that kind of thing.
Absolutely might not be cool. I've been around like professional athletes that were like new. Like I was Dustin Keller. I remember one time like when I would smoke, he'd be like, dude, he's like, just be careful blowing it near me at all. He's like, if I fucking pop, I'm in trouble. So
yeah, they need NFL.
And I go, oh, that's a good reason.
Yeah. They are like, I remember NFL players getting caught smoking weed and their whole thing was like, no, my friend blew it in my face like a dog. Yeah. But so we hang out and they do like a full tour of the house. We get a stepdad and that construction worker that was telling us about load bearing walls.
I don't know if you guys at home know this, but that truss was over 3,000 pounds.
Truss.
Which is a metal thing.
Yeah. Metal beam.
On a part of a house.
I would call it a metal log in the Lincoln log.
It was a metal log in the middle of some other logs. But it was 3,000 pounds. You heard right.
And then they went up and got a truck and brought it down to a field. They had pumpkins set up on a dirt mound. It was awesome.
It was an awesome set. And by the way, me and Dan... with like, we're like, I knew what that pile was for. That pile of those pumpkins on the dirt things, I knew that was where we were going to be shooting. And I was like, let's go over there.
Let's do that right now.
We're doing it. I mean, Bert and them are literally inside going, he's like, you could probably throw in a bay window in this spot.
He goes, like, is this going to be a nook?
Who cares? Can turn this into
a nook. I want to play G.I. Joe guy. I want to play Army Man.
You didn't come for this.
I want to feel tough. And then he goes up and gets...
They're like, this house is 18,000 square feet. I go, oh, all right.
I don't even know what that means.
Is that big? Is it too big?
We really were getting those kind of complaints. Let us play with the poo-poos.
We also have no vision of a framed house, so it's just frame.
Also, I know I'm an apartment guy for the rest of my life, so
it's just...
I'm lucky if I get a house.
It's just frame.
Yeah.
So we're walking... I don't have a vision of this. I'm like, this seems weird.
Yeah.
Why are there so many pieces of wood?
Are you going to sleep on the wood?
Yeah. Where do the lights go?
Where do you play your PlayStation?
Yeah. Where's the TV wall? The TV wall? He goes, yeah, the big one for the TV.
So he's like, God, Bert, you really brought some pussies to my house. So we go and finally he brings a truck full of guns. A full truck bed full of guns.
We walk down.
Me, Jay,
and Dan both.
Bert,
picked the wrong sneakers for the day. I don't know why.
I got some slamming white Air Force Ones on.
I got some crispy whites
to walk through a mud pile.
And I go, and I now have to do this. Now I'm this guy going. So I go, is there like a part? Is there like wood planks or something you have to walk across this? He goes, I just walk over the thing. I go, it's just. I'm not going to say it out loud. I was like, it's just that you know, this guy doesn't want to hear this.
We were like ladies getting on a boat.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't hold our hands.
I should have. He goes, can you make sure?
Step over. His wife is holding our hands like we're dainty. We're like, thank you. It was, and then by the way, that family was so gracious. They brought out snacks and drinks.
Sandwich. It was awesome.
Sandwiches, everything. And then set up the guns. He was explaining us the guns. I watched him do one of the most badass things I've ever seen in my life, which is shoot a 50 caliber gun standing.
Yeah.
It's a gun that Bert, me, Jay, Sypha, Christine all had to lay down to shoot. It was a gun where they set up one of those ones and it's like...
I was bullied to it. Yeah. But before we even got to that, though, before he shot the 50 cal, he started pulling out and he starts... First thing he does, he pulls out a handgun.
Yeah.
Starts blasting away, hitting.
Making
real connection.
Yeah. Then the shotgun.
Then the wife comes, picks up her AR, her pink AR. And
fierce.
Guns... hits one up top a pumpkin that rolls down the hill, and she blasts it the whole way down.
Like Annie Oakley. Just shoots it on the roll down. Just like, frat, frat, frat. And we're like, okay.
Soder did about the best with the guns they ended up giving us. I'll do it again, for sure. I'll absolutely do it again because I do want to get comfortable, but I genuinely don't like it. It's the whole thing's so scary. It's so loud. It's so like violent in a way. I know we're not doing any violent, but it feels like I'm just scared. I don't know.
What made me nervous?
It doesn't get me, man. Maybe a handgun I think is a little more fun.
Yeah, but what made me nervous was when Bert was talking about the 50 caliber, and he went like, oh, the last time I fired this, it gave me anxiety for the rest of the day. Yeah. And I was like, hey, we're about to do Red Rocks. I grew up here. This means a lot to me. I don't know if I want to have crazy anxiety while I'm opening the show, being like,
yeah. Or
just Creedence is playing in my head.
They've also said they were like, oh, now be careful too. My nephew, his arm actually was ripped from his body from shooting this thing.
Oh, if you don't press your shoulder up at that, it'll dislocate your shoulder and break your jaw. And you're like,
yeah.
No.
Yeah. So another thing becomes a problem a little bit later. So the shotgun was so big and loud. Then he picked up a sawed-off shotgun and started fucking one-handing him.
It's like one-handed, and he's like a big guy. So he did that thing of like Arnold, almost like Arnold, being like, doo. It was like he could handle. I mean, he stood up, standing, shot a 50 caliber.
50 cal. So then he put the 50 cal on the ground.
And we all. Then the ladies had a turn at it.
Bert shoots right away, hits the keg. It's the coolest looking thing of the day.
Yeah, he's had to have used it, or he will use it on a promo because that was the coolest thing I've seen.
It was so fucking cool.
He blew up a keg with a 50 caliber,
and then
full keg of beer. It was awesome. It was like out. They set it up.
Who went second?
I did.
You did, yeah.
I missed.
So Dan goes.
I shot it twice and missed.
Yeah, Dan shot it twice and missed, and then they get me. They're like, "Come on, Jay," and I was like, No, it's okay. And I'm telling you, I'm like, this, I could get hurt. It's scary. It's loud. It's huge.
Yeah.
And also, on top of all that now, again, single mom, you guys.
Oh, dude,
I'm like, if I lay on the floor, like,
I'm going to get dirty.
I mean, like, we have to go back to the place. Like, I'm going to be really dirty.
Yeah.
And then they're like, come on. I'm like, okay. So then I try to lay in a way that's like not, and they go, it's so ridiculous. I'm like, what do you call that? Perpendicular almost to the gun. I'm like holding like this, and I'm like, and
they're doing like a pose.
They're like, now you have to like lay down like kind of next to it. I'm like, okay. And they go, keep that thing on your thing. Look through the scope, and shoot. And then I shot the first time. It wasn't so bad actually, but I missed everything. And then I lined it back, and then they go, I'm like, that was cool, thank you. They go, no, come on, you got to shoot like one more. And I'm like, all right. They go, just be careful now, because like, again, I don't know if it's the way I'm laying or my shape my face. They're like, you want to keep your, you want to look through the scope, but you want to keep your face like away from the gun. And I'm like, that sounds like you just told me two impossible things to do. So I looked through the scope. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
And then I went.
And he caught it on his shoulder. He didn't get hurt.
I didn't get hurt at all, but they were just like, and then they were almost just kind of like up.
Yeah.
They're like that's, you can't do it like that. And then Christine, my girlfriend, said, I'll do it. Had no problem. Did it twice.
He like held her in place. Like
which she's also mentioned several times.
Yeah, he like held her to the gun, and she was like, it was weird. She made this noise.
Oh, he definitely, he had a one on like the hip and one on the shoulder thing.
Oh, fuck.
She was like, can I shoot 5 more?
Oh, fuck, I need it again.
So here we are. Now everyone shoots the 50 cals.
And we do the guns thing, and everyone's like, and Bert starts talking about the property, and he's like, oh, it'd be cool to film a promo somewhere on your property. I know you got a ton. And the host is like, he's so, like we were talking about, he's so gracious. He's like, oh, well, we've got these like, dune buggy side by side.
We're gonna go get our stuff. They called them the side by sides.
Because we're gonna go get our side by sides,
which are dune buggies.
Which are dune buggy thing, all terrain vehicles, and we'll drive up on the property and we'll find something cool for you.
Slow down on the story here, because we're both gonna. I don't want to like jump too far ahead without somebody missing a thing.
Well, I'm gonna make sure. I will make sure. So first he shows up.
No,
he comes down first and comes down off the terrain. It was her.
Yes, I'm saying that's why.
Well, no.
You have to remember
because he drove up and drove away, and then that's what happened.
Okay, he was gone.
He was gone.
He was not there when she arrived.
He was not there when she arrived.
That's right, because he came by. He was listening to "Kill Shot" by Machine Gun or Eminem.
Yeah, and then he showed up, and these things are like it's like for them to drive around on their property, but they got like, they're blasting tunes. Like he said, Eminem, and then he drove up, showed that it could kind of go everywhere, and then he like drives up into the trees. He's gone. She shows up, and she's like, "Hey, where'd you go?" The wife shows up,
hauling down,
and then she's like, "Oh, something," and then revs it and starts doing donuts. And she does like one donut, and on the second donut, she's going so fast, you see the car tip. And then as she's going around, it rolls and then flips.
It rolls 2 times and goes ass over head
twice. And then it lands, and she's holding the roll bar on the hood of the car. Like, oh, you guys just showed up?
Here I go again on my own.
Jay called it, she Tawny Katained.
She Tawny Katained her way out of the car.
We immediately, the first thing, our reaction
I'm
was like,
pretty certain she's dead.
We were like, "Are you okay?" Oh my god!
That's a death accident. When you watch that accident, you go, "Oh, that's how Ryan Dunn went. That's how they all go."
It would just be
Paul
a thing.
Walker, and now this lady.
If it would have been that serious, I think we all would have understood. We were like preparing ourselves for that.
To console this man about the loss of his wife,
on his brand new
or at
property.
least like the mangling of her face and body.
Something bad, like we were waiting to see what happens. And this is what I was talking about when Jay was saying about people talking about being swingers or whatever, and they just come out and they're like, sometimes around comedians, it's best just to be as honest as possible, because if you're not honest, I think we'll pick up on that, and that's what we'll find funny.
Did.
And I
think she said, I'm pretty sure, the reason we know she was alive and didn't spend much time worrying about her death is because she almost had like a oopsie, huh?
Yeah.
Like something like that, like an oopsie doodle, like a real, well, another, or like I think she's like another day on the.
She might as well have gone Mondays. Am I right? It was that. What, me worry? It's like one of the.
She goes, "Hey guys, hang in there."
Kind of like that cat. Huh? I clung to that roll bar, but she lands and it kind of settles, and we're all like, "Oh,
are you alive?"
And she's like, the Japs that built this thing. It was like that.
Now the best.
It was like one of those things where you're like, what?
The husband comes up and does
He's like,
skids like right next to her, and his first words are, he goes, why weren't you wearing your seatbelt? And she's like, I don't know. And she's like dusting herself off.
She's completely dusts herself off. By the way, there's a lawn chair that gets just flung from the car.
Stuff flew out of the car.
Bert's tour manager just went and picked up and was like, "Hey, I think this goes in the car." And she's like, "There, I was looking for that."
Oh yeah. Oh, did I fling that 50 yards away?
The thing that made the whole reason we found this so funny, and it made Jay and I laugh for the rest of the day, was that we saw her be like, "Fine, I'm fine," and we're like, "I don't think you are."
I'm like, she's
like,
fine.
"I'm fine." And then we noticed she put her hand in her pocket, and she was like, "So, what are you guys doing now?"
And it was like the rest of the arm wasn't attached. She was like she stuffed arm in her pocket by fingers, and it was like she was white knuckling because the arm's falling, but like the fingers in the pocket. She's like, "What?"
Remember in Desperado?
This is how everybody walks around on a ranch.
You know when Antonio Banderas gets shot in Desperado and he's walking along the wall and the blood's tracing? That's what I thought about with the way that she was like,
in pocket, right arm in pocket, and she was just like, she's like, "So you guys gonna be hanging out for a while longer?"
So did the jokes come to you, or do you have to sit down and write them?
And Bert had like I mean, if you're okay, I really would love to get some of this footage up on the rocks there.
I forgot about that.
So
she goes,
"We're there for 45 more minutes."
She's cool, because you know what the coolest part is? The nearest hospital's an hour away.
Couple fun facts. We got 45 minutes to the hospital. Also, because it's dirt road access to their house for 2 miles, they're going to build a helipad because it is not easy to do a hospital run. It's an hour away.
And this was all said as we got there, not knowing what was going to transpire.
Yeah, and then she just hangs out, dude. They go and they take Bert up to film his thing on the rocks.
To the point that we were convinced when we left their house and went back to where we were staying, we were convinced she was not injured, but we were laughing at whenever you've had like the wind knocked out of you and tried to act like you're fine, when you're like, "I'm okay, I'm completely me. It was like that kind of energy. She was
no,
like,
just give me 2 seconds.
do you guys like, she was bringing up random stuff that doesn't make sense. Do you guys eat strawberries often? No.
She goes, hey, how about those cosmic brownies? How Little Debbie's really is the motherfucker. He goes, hey, he goes, I really want to thank you for being. She's like,
Sorry. I just remembered a bunch of stuff I didn't get done today.
oh man, I'm so angry at myself.
I just remembered I forgot to order paper towels. So we go back to the place. We talk about it in the car with Bert. We like, and then we go back. We get ready.
Wait. Also, at one point, her and one of the assistants or something, he goes, hey, we're going to go ahead into town for a little bit, so it was great meeting you guys. They left about 5 minutes before us.
Yeah. And so
the wife and another girl.
So then we leave.
But they're real, like, we're going to market vibe.
Yeah. Like, you know what? I just feel like a ginger ale. You ever feel like a ginger ale? I'm going to go buy one at the corner store or at the general store, whatever they have. And so we go get ready for the show. We're at Red Rocks. We're like looking around, taking pictures. It's unbelievable. I'm downstairs. Katie and I are hanging out. The guy and his wife show up, and his wife is in a sling. Her arm's in a sling, and I'm like, I knew it. And
by the way, the sling, and I mean this, as many straps as the bear gun. It was actually the coolest sling I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it was a badass sling.
It was a really badass sling.
And then I'm like, oh my God. Seeing how serious it was, I was like, I got to tell Jay. Jay has to know this. So great. Jay is upstairs talking to his agent.
His manager.
I'm
telling him a funny story.
Yeah.
It's not about that. It wasn't that. It was like we had to recap him real quick when you came on. But
because I show up.
Just the interest of, I remember seeing Dan. So Red Rocks, the backstage of Red Rocks, it's like you go down like a ramp. It's all sort of outside, but it's like a down a ramp. And I just see Dan coming. I want to give you my perspective on this because I'm talking to him and I see Dan. I'm looking over the shoulder of my manager and see Dan come around the thing with what I can only describe as pissy pants. Yeah. Dan's doing. He's like, ooh, Jay, and I go, and I see him coming. I go, wait, just give me 1 second.
You know how many times I've done that to my mom and on the phone she's gone, give me a second.
Yeah.
How many times that same energy? I haven't felt that energy since I was a child.
I was like, hang on, I'm going to tell her. And then I see Dan just goes, he goes, okay. And then borderline was spinning in place. And I went, and Dan goes, okay. And I went, so, and then I just went, I didn't even get to the next sentence. I go, so, this looks like it's going to be better than the thing. Yeah. Dan, yeah. And you go, she's in the thing, dude. It's like she is.
She actually was injured. And he's like, no way.
And we look it up. It's like a fucking gnarly injury.
Yeah, dude. Katie looked it up,
and
it was
like a serious recovery.
It was the funniest part is when Katie looked it up and she was like reading me what it was. She goes, "It's crazy how many times they mention the extreme amount of pain that comes with it." When they're like, Katie's like every third sentence, she's like, "You will know if this happens. There is a lot of pain," and the fact that
immeasurable pain that's not going to be simply solved by a couple of digits in your pocket.
Yeah, don't put your hand in your pocket. It will only cause more pain. But the fact that she was that cool and calm about it. About such an injury that was going to take weeks to heal. We hope she's all right. If you watch this, we were impressed with your pain tolerance. And sorry if any of this story offended you.
It shouldn't offend you.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Ejected from a car and you got an injury that's going to set you back a little.
But Jay and I were talking about it, and I talked to her about it. Because I was like, why didn't you tell us you were injured? And she was like, you guys were having fun. I didn't want to.
I'm like, don't ever do that again.
It was wild. She really was being so pleasant. She didn't say that she had a major shoulder separation.
I'll tell you what, though.
Riggs.
Have you ever?
It's like
have you ever had?
Into a thing.
It's such a good topic. I know we got to wrap it up, but like,
yeah,
dude, like, have you ever seen your chick, or even if it's a date or something, embarrassed the hell out of herself, and you gotta and that's what happened there. Happening. She was embarrassed.
Yeah.
Like she was very, very embarrassed, and he was kind of like, and then the guy's got to be like, she's fine.
Yeah.
She's totally fine, because he's embarrassed, because it's like, you want, if nothing else, look, I know that you don't want other guys to like lust after your chick, but you want to think your chick's like everything from like cool, awesome. You don't want them laughing at her.
Yeah.
And there's that thing, dude, I brought Christine early in our relationship to a a black comedy show. I was doing, Kareem Green ran it. It was in Jersey City, like in a hotel like room they had like set up down there, and it was like a fine room. It was like a hookah thing going on. It was Hispanic and black, but like, and I remember going up there and like it was a fun set because it went right away. Like they tried to like test me right away. You know what I mean? When I went on, it was kind of like man, you better be funny. And I was just like comfortable enough at that point in comedy to be like, oh, I mean, what's the worst going to happen if I'm not? You know what I mean? Like, we're just having like this, and I made them laugh, and I'm having a really good set. And Christine's in the back of the room, and I just see her silhouette get up. Dude, and I know there was just like a small like step down from like one back area to the next, and it was just silhouette, but like, I don't know what she hit something else, but it was just like seeing her go, and I was like, also because we're today, I go, oh, where's she going? And it was just like, she fell so hard and like smashed into something, and then you hear people around and go, damn!
Oh my god!
And I had to be like, oh, what, somebody eat shit? That's cool. So
anyways,
I said, move on. I couldn't give her any. I couldn't give her any kind of like a care or affection or like, oh my god, are you okay? Because I'm just like,
you looking away.
Brought the dumb bitch.
But you also
just turn on her also.
But then you feel like
asshole.
Hey guys, everybody, asshole. Or you feeling like you do need a supporter, so you go, anyways, what's up with you? I hope your shin's okay. I used to have that happen to me when I would get drunk and I would fall at like friends. I remember one time in the city, I was drinking, I think with Julian McCullough, and he met these Australian girls, and they were like, oh, let's go back. We're having a party at our hotel room. And it was like a cool people party. And I was so drunk, I didn't know there was a glass table right when you walked off the balcony. And I nailed my leg and full fell and rolled and got up so quick that like my balance, you know, and I had to do that thing where I was like, I'm fine. I went out.
He goes, no, that's ding. I think you may have like splintered your shin bone. He goes, that's crazy.
I went out to the elevator and opened it, and it was just a gash. And I was like, what a fun party.
Whatever.
I'm going to go get ice.
Dude, this lady, and then if you recall, the guy was texting Bert, because I don't know if you heard me say it a bunch or something.
Yeah.
But the guy
that was
like,
what I was going to end the story with.
Yeah.
He said to Bert, he goes, by the way, she didn't get thrown out of the car.
No, the word was, he goes, she wasn't ejected from the thing. And I go, Bert, you weren't there.
No, you and I were both there.
Me and you were there. She was ejected.
She was on the hood. She was on the
hood, dude. The only thing missing was Coverdale, dude.
I wish I could get music licensing now that this podcast is just on YouTube, just to slam into that video, and that's how the podcast ends. I love you, dude, and thanks for coming on.
I love you
too,
man. Thank you for having me.
I miss you every day.
Hey, good luck with the solo broadcasting venture.
BigJComedy.com.
Bobby Kelly sends his love.
BigJComedy.com for live dates. Legion of Skanks, Bonfire, SDR,
Dogbelly
on YouTube. One of the best specials of the year. I love you.
Shut right up. I love you, buddy. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Bye.